Chris, we got a short statement from Disney about this. They said they were in thoughtful conversation with Jimmy Kimmel. What do we know about the decision to bring him back to air?
Well, we know that there were talks that really began between the company and Jimmy on Thursday. This was done at the highest levels, right between Kimmel himself and Disney CEO Bob Iger, as well as Dana Walden, the head of the TV division there. They took a break over the weekend, and they resumed talks today. And obviously, they came to this decision that he's coming back.
Jimmy, we love you. Come back. Jimmy, not a problem. Say whatever you want. Or, Jimmy, wait, you got to think about what you're saying. I don't know. What do we know? I mean, obviously, these were behind closed doors, and I'm sure they're being pretty mum about it. But do we have any insight of exactly kind of where, Disney stood on all of this in terms of bringing him back? And, at the same time, I've seen some stories about individuals calling to, cancel your, Disney Plus subscriptions and so on and so forth. Was there pressure on streaming that maybe, made Disney take a second look at all of this? I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just curious what we know about the context of those conversations and why this happened.
Yeah, I mean, there was pressure everywhere. This, began with just folks in local markets calling their TV stations and saying they were upset about his comments, whether it's Salt Lake City or Nashville or wherever. And that's really what got that, and the comments from the FCC chairman about doing something about this got the station groups, Nexstar, Sinclair to act. ABC was very close behind them in announcing, putting this on hiatus. But ABC did always want Kimmel to come back. And he's also in a tricky position. Sinclair, in particular, has called for him to apologize and donate money to the Kirk family. There's every indication that he was not long in this job. He wanted to do something else, but he obviously wants to leave on his own terms and not be forced out in this situation. So there's a lot we still don't know, whether he's going to apologize when he gets back on the air, how long he'll stay in this job, if Disney's even going to stick with the late night format.
So what happens now to the comments that Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC, made last week, which, even some in his own party, Republican Ted Cruz, for example, had some real concerns with the way that the FCC chairman was going about this. What happens now on that side of things?
Well, he can sort of declare victory either way. He got the station groups to take Kimmel off the air, even if it's a short while. And if they come back, he'll probably say it was their decision. We are, of course, reaching out to the FCC for comment. But his words certainly got actions, that's for sure.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder, because I feel like the last week or so, we've talked about media in all its forms just really being focused on by President Trump, right? Coming back from the UK, making those comments about, if a network says something that isn't nice, maybe their licenses should be looked at. And I'm paraphrasing. But is the heat off from the White House? I don't know. Like, what's the feel? What's the feel?
I think your paraphrasing was pretty kind. I think the president said that he could just take away their licenses if he didn't like what they were saying about him.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of people have a problem with that from the constitutional standpoint. But this is probably the height of what's been a long-running Trump war on the media. We said last week there's really been no president. Every president has a difficult time with journalists from time to time, but nobody has made this kind of push to the extreme that Trump has, suing them on a regular basis, threatening to take away their licenses on a regular basis, and to a large degree seeing them kowtow to these efforts. Some people say we're sort of in a danger of coming into a state-run media in this country. So a lot of concern on both sides.
But Chris, and to be fair, Jimmy Kimmel is not news, it's entertainment. And I am curious, there you are in LA, right, where still so much is done in the entertainment world. And I wonder, movies, actors, producers, directors, they're not afraid to kind of be critical of an administration. I'm not talking about this current one, but this one or another. They're not afraid. And I just wonder what's being talked about in LA and within the kind of Hollywood community about what has happened in the last week. Is there a tremendous pushback against limitations? Yeah.
We saw public statements from the Screen Actors, the Writers Guild. We saw protests in front of the studio, the theater where Kimmel shot. We saw some prominent actors and producers in that come out, against Disney. We even saw Ted Cruz,
Right.
Republican senator from Texas, say things are going a little too far. So, there's definitely been a pushback. But at the end of the day, we've also seen these companies capitulate time and time again, and those are the people that underwrite these projects, these movies, these TV shows, and that. And so,
But Chris,
that is happening.
Before we let you go, this also comes at a really challenging time for late night. I mean, Stephen Colbert is on the last year of his contract. He's out after this. The viewership is not what it was in its heyday. People are watching their phones instead of watching the screen at home together every night. By the time people see some of these clips, they're watching them on social media. They're not seeing them live. I mean, the business is completely changing. It's completely changed.
That's right, and it remains to be seen whether all of these shows stick around. Certainly Colbert is going off the air and not being replaced. Whether that's the same for Jimmy Kimmel Live, we don't know for sure. But these are expensive shows. Every day, 200 people in a staff, very high-paid, hosts. And, the local station owners would love to just take this time back. They pay most of the ad revenue, goes to the network, not them. They'd love to be able to put their own news or other programming in that time slot.